Julie ma'am, I think we can start.
All right, ma'am. All right, Harshini, we can start.
Yeah, a very good morning to all. A warm welcome to our chief guest and all participants on the fourth day of national level EFDP on the changing faces of language and literature, a digital perspective. I start with famous quote: if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. I'm very much happy to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Mary Thomas, Professor and Dean, Department of English, Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, University. She is a dynamic and articulate English professional with a penchant of teaching, writing, and public speaking. Her communication skills accompanied by an in-depth knowledge of English language and literature. She pursued her PhD, MPhil, and MA degree in English from the University of Madras, her post-graduation and undergraduation from Stella Maris College, and her schoolings in Church Park Convent, Chennai. She has qualified the SLATE examination in the year 2000 and has 23 years of rich experience in teaching in top institutions in Chennai. She is a highly committed teacher who achieves maximum results from her students, whether it be exams or other extracurricular activities conducted on campus or even at the intercollegiate level. Her area of expertise are teaching English language and literature, training students for the IELTS, British Council Certificate Trainer, writing articles in journal and speech for dignitaries in college magazines. She has presented and published many articles in international journals and national conferences. She is much interested in proofreading, editing, script writing for college academic competitions. She is also expertise in translating scripts from movies spoken in American and British accent to Indian accents. She has qualified grade 8 in solo singing from Trichy College of Music, London. She is fond of using innovative techniques like music and poetry to teach English language successfully, inspiring students as an apt role model for guiding them to reach greater height. Her desire is to take English to different frontiers in India and make aware to students and young learners to prove that English can transform their lives. Her motto is Imbeam English. Her mission statement is to mold and fashion young minds to be fluent in the usage of English language. We are honored by your presence on this occasion, ma'am. We hope having a person like you will enlighten the delegates community on the whole. May the Lord Almighty bless you to win more and more laurels. Thank you. Now I will ask chief guest to take the dais.
I request the
Please, ma'am.
participants to kindly mute the audio and video. We may face bandwidth problem. Please cooperate with us in this regard. Thank you. Now I request Mary ma'am to continue, start the session.
Thank you so much, Julie, for that wonderful introduction. I'm so happy to
Pleasure.
be here with all of you this morning. It's been trying times, as everyone knows, and as we know the topic, digital linguistics, it came to my mind quite recently. As you all know, digital linguistics was evolving in its own way for centuries. But this idea came to me to explore these avenues as I languished at home during this coronavirus pandemic as it raged around. I welcome all the participants, the faculty from India and abroad and other universities to this session. So I just want to give you the reason d'etre, the reason to be for this topic. And as I said, as I languished indoors, I thought about what we could do as English teachers because we couldn't meet our students. These are truly testing times and pressing times when we think twice about the meaning and purpose of our lives, especially as teachers. And we realize suddenly that we have to rise above our circumstances and with a definite purpose that the Lord has in our lives. That's when I sat up and realized from all my procrastinations that I am a professor of English. I'm not the globe-trotting sort of professor, not the sort who's overtly ambitious and wants to reach the top echelons of academic renown. But at the core of my being, I'm a teacher, a simple teacher who wants to reach her students. And this teacher in me, shut inside my home, was intrigued by the awning virtual world that opened before her. And my love for the English language triggered me onto this interesting journey of language transformation and evolution during these pressing times. These, as you all know, are apocalyptic times when we as literature teachers have to reinvent ourselves, have to deconstruct existing norms using technological tools which are available to us and which come in handy to meet and discuss and deliberate with our students virtually. And that is the reason for this trajectory of thought process. So I've given you the reason to be, and now I think I should go on to my slides, which I will show you in a moment. Are you all able to see the slides? Harshni ma'am?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am, we can't see.
Akshay, you can kindly help ma'am with the presentation. Participants, please stop presenting.
Mary, ma'am,
Yes.
I am presenting your screen. You start conducting the session.
Yes. Now can you all see the screen? Thank you, Akshaya, for that.
No problem.
The first screen talks about, it's my topic, digital linguistics, how digital language has evolved in the 20th century during this digital revolution in times of crisis. And we understand that the 21st century, this is the first slide. Go to the first slide. So we understand that the 21st century is a hypertextual arena in several senses. Some academicians lament the fact that the internet is a kind of a death knell for the English language. But I've never really understood these people. Just look at the way in which most of us every day use computers, mobile phones, websites, email, and social networks. English has come to the rescue of millions like a knight in shining armor. The 21st century and pressing times like these make English the main player in the field. Vast volumes of mixed media may surround us, from music to games and videos, yet almost all online actions still begin and end with English, with writing, text messages, status updates, typed search queries, screens packed with verbal exchanges, and underpinning it all, countless billions of words. It's here now that listening, reading, speaking, and writing English language make the world a resplendent place. This is what I wish to explore in a short overview with each and every one of you. Look at our own mobile phones, laptops, and computers, and all the online action that goes on. English language is the mainstay, and it is the weapon with which we can fight ignominy and recklessness, and we can make ourselves heard and seen through its perfect application and semblance. Next slide, Harshini. Now, when it comes to the digital era, the greatest difference between the digital era and the pre-digital times is that it is a typed language rather than a spoken language that drives these changes, but not always. Now, when it comes to the virtual classrooms and when it comes to presentations, it's also the spoken language. So, as I told you before, new things, we have to change with the changing times, and desperate times or pressing times call for pressing measures. New things have always required new words, and technological developments have fed both the written and the spoken language. So it's not just the written language that is influenced, but it is also the spoken language. This etymological evolution has been taking place, as we can see, from the earliest of times. But now, at this juncture, in these pressing times, we see it happening in spurts and leaps. And we know that the future of written words lie on screen. And these screens are steadily transforming not how we just communicate, but what we mean and what we think too. It is intriguing how this etymological transformation facilitates learning and the mode of expression. And it's intrigued me more how words are now separated from human voices and faces and new conventions and registers, and are developing to express the emotional tone of typed words. That really intrigues me and it fascinates me. And so we have our emoticons and smiley faces and emojis. These words too are active in the digital world and can be countlessly replicated adapted, and shared. I'm sure that when we write messages, we all want to express ourselves, and these really help us to express ourselves. It is the intrinsic nature of humankind to adapt, and language is the tool or the weapon we have to express ourselves during these apocalyptic times. Next slide. I wanted to delve into the buried roots of some of digital age's most common terms. As I told you earlier, new things have always required new words. And that is what we are delving into here in this session in a brief manner, because we have this constraint of time, and what I've explored is too much to to make it brief and just put it onto slides. So these new things that we have always required new words, and as we know, we need as English language facilitators. So we as English language facilitators can explore the fascinating histories, and it is very difficult for me to put everything together in this short PowerPoint behind new forms. And so we have this fascinating histories behind new forms of slang, memes, texts, messages, and gaming terms. If we have time later, we can do a quick run of the signs and symbols and emojis and emoticons, which have become an intrinsic part of language, as I told you earlier, and is used in various modes of expressions. And some people might condemn this as a tragedy, but I don't think we should realize that what is happening now is simply too big and too important and too exciting either to summarize or condemn. I've used that title, Do the Tango Together, because it's a dance form. And I think what we are doing every day in the virtual classroom is a kind of a tango. The baby boomers and millionaires have to now caper and do the tango with the digital natives in these pressing times to capture their attention. And that is what we do on an everyday basis as English teachers. So plethora of new terminologies that people are screens, and we have to be very adept at using them, these terminologies. And these transformations, I want to tell each one of the English teachers who are listening here in this session, that these transformations in terms did not take place just now and when, but it started evolving years back. As I read books on this digital linguistics and celebrating the digital world, I realized that it started evolving years back. And when we look at it behind the scenes, it's very interesting. Some very ancient terms have found their way into the World Wide Web, and few we will peruse in this session. Shall we go to the next slide? We know that Standard English was the dominant form of proper writing in our language for centuries, and it was an enterprise that allowed the words we used to be regulated by reference to central authorities like dictionaries, grammar, and experts. But whether we like it or not, the official intentions behind Standard English are already unofficial and defunct. So for the first time in history, we live in a time of mass literacy and mass participation in written discourse. We have online reading and writing, which not so long ago were among the most costly and elite of human activities. And now they are almost infinitely available at little or no cost. So I just want to delve into some words in the digital world and their origin. Here, some very ancient terms have found their homes in the World Wide Web. HTML, as you all know, is the bread and butter of the World Wide Web. And if you read about it, it has a very interesting origin. It was coined by the American sociologist Ted Nelson in 1963, which dates back not just to the first days of digital technology, but an earlier transformation, the birth of printing itself. And in this context, it's easy to forget that the word computer, most of its existence, the English word computer, referred not to machines, but to people who performed calculations. So as you know that now in these pressing times, we are no longer speakers of our own tongue. We are all becoming authors and audiences. The art and science of computer programming has brought with it an entirely new species of language, a form of written expression whose terms encode not only the meanings, but also the entire interactive systems. In an age of information technology, information itself is becoming the stuff of self-sustaining worlds that consume an increasingly substantial proportion of our attention, innovation, effort, and desire for self-expression. And I think as English teachers, we should be lucky to be part of this bewildering times, because we have what great scholars and authors did not have in the past and would have given anything to possess. What a single screen can offer me in an instant: tens and millions of books, hundreds and millions of pages, and over 1 billion human voices competing in articulate cacophony. And the only components of our language which cannot change in any amount of technological context is clarity, concision, and comprehension. So we go on to the next slide. So these words caught my attention, and as I told you, robos, blogs, wiki, and cybernetics, all these words, and all these have their source in literature. As you all know, literature has always been a source of new words. And we also know that authors of the 16th and 17th centuries, like William Shakespeare, Edmund Spenser, Andrew Marvell, John Milton, and Peirce, they all have been instrumental in gifting the English language a plethora of words. Now, that was a time of fertile collision between the verbal worlds and great cultural and intellectual upheavals in society. But now, we live in an era of similar collisions. We also have great upheavals in society, and the world will not be the same as it was before. It is an apocalyptic world in which we live, and there are going to be changes which can never be turned back, all according to divine plan. So we live in an era of similar speaking, and while we can compare the Shakespeare and the Renaissance, that comparison might be presumptuous, but we should also be very proud that we have literature to thank for for some of the most telling new words of our times, of these pressing times, literature, we have to be thankful for. So the word robo, it was coined, I read, by a Czech writer called Karel Čapek in his science fiction play, Rossum's Universal Robos. And he was the first one to use this word robo. And we find that it had a lot, it inspired so many stories and so many movies. And all down the ages, we find that the robo has a powerful grip on the human imagination. I think as children and as adults, we have seen so many movies about robos. And now it is in vogue today. And we should be very thankful to the author, Isaac Asimov, who popularized the idea in his short story, Run Around, in which he coined a new word in that short story for the first time, and it was robotics. So we have to thank the English language and the authors of English for these wonderful words that have a futuristic sound and futuristic appeal to them. So now we go on to the next slide. Go on to the, okay. Now the repository of human knowledge. You know, I was just thinking about it. Nowadays, I think most of us stop thinking and we just want fast and quick answers. Whatever we want to do, might be we want to make a new recipe, or we want to try to make a traditional recipe that our parents made, or you want to find out something about a certain author or a book, and you just go to the net. And what do you find there? Wikipedia. It is a repository of human knowledge. And here I'm referring to the word wiki from Wikipedia. And this word, wiki, it's interesting to know that it is a Hawaiian word which means quick. And the other word along with it, pedia, means education in Greek. There can be no other two words as to what these two words put together can do. And they transmit, or even I can say, transpire quick knowledge. And at this juncture, I would also like to delve into another interesting word that caught my attention, and yours surely, the blog and the blogger. And this word, web blog, was coined by John Barger on December 17th, 1997. And the short form blog was coined by Peter Merholz. So we find that people have coined these beautiful words, and now they are in vogue. And especially words like wiki have a wonderful catch or sound to it, and it will always be in our memories that it is a Hawaiian word. And we're proud that we have learned a new Hawaiian word. So we go on to the next slide. So now here we find everything which is cyber. Everything which is cyber So everything is cyber. So we have ethical hacking, we have hackers, and this prefix, the cyber, an all-purpose term for digital and internet activities and its evolution. We find that this word cyber, this very intriguing word, has a long, impressive pedigree. Cyber truly broke into the mainstream culture, and it actually became popular after a young science fiction writer. He's very well known now. He's a very popular writer, American Canadian author William Gibson used it in his story, The Burning Crow. And I know that many researchers do research on William Gibson and his works of literature. And I just wanted to mention that cyber became a tantalizing term, and it became even more popular after the debut of his another very popular novel, The New Romancer. And from there, it has seen many interesting etymological inventions. As you know, the cyberpunk and all the other words that has come from this invention of cyber. And I just want to tell you in this context that for language lovers, it can be thrilling to find a name for something. Okay, and even though I've not put it here, the Cupertino effect is a prime contemporary example. It describes one of the most unlikely gifts of the age of word processing, the way in which an overzealous automatic spell checker can correct your attempt at typing one word into something similar, yet crucially different. So this Cupertino effect I wanted to just mention here, and then we go on to the next slide. Another very interesting word, avatar. This was a word, as you all know, or you might know, was coined by James Cameron in his record-breaking 2010 film, Avatar. And we must be proud that it has its origins in the Sanskrit term avatara, meaning descent. And after that, the avatar has not seen a single dull day. And so that is the origin of avatar. And when you look at the word meme, because everything now is made into a meme, it's a cultural transmission, a unit of imitation in a very hilarious, humorous way. So this word's origin was from the book The Selfish Genie, and Richard Dawkins coined this word, mimeme, or meme. It is a cultural word for a cultural transmission and a unit of imitation, and it is everywhere in the World Wide Web. So they inhabit our virtual digital world with pop culture gags, and which are so humorous, and which have more layers than a Russian doll. As you know, a Russian doll, as you keep on opening, there are more small dolls inside. And so as we keep exploring the digital language, we find that there are more and more layers to this. The next slide. Now, this is not a word, But I thought that I should just mention this a little history about this symbol here. What the signs tell. You know, I've just written a title like that, but I'm talking about this symbol, the @ symbol that we use. It was very interesting when I read its history, so I wanted to share it with all of you, the English faculty. The @ symbol that we use in emails and everywhere else now, it had its obscure beginnings in accounting. In the field of accounting, it was first used in the field of accounting. It says that it was selected by the programmer Ray Tomlinson from a dozen available punctuation characters for his use in his brand new email software. And from that day on, it has become the world's most widely used symbol, as you all know, as we all know, and has gathered a bewildering variety of different descriptions in different languages. What interested me and what okay, this happens, these obstacles happen, but we have to just overcome them. In Italy, what really interested me was that in Italy, it's called the ciociolo, or the snail. In French, it's called the petit escargot. And in Finnish, it's called the miukkymauku, curled up cat. And in Chinese, they call it the ziu laoshu, little mouse. And in Russian, it's called sobaka, a little dog. And the most interesting and fascinating is the German interpretation, Klammerhof, or spider monkey. So as language teachers, it's interesting to know how these words are used in different countries. And that is the history of the @ symbol. So it sounds very poetic in other languages. Now we go on to the next slide. So I'd like to ask you, I'm sure that all the youngsters would be raving about Amazon and all the brands. And we might ask them, what's in a name? Why are you so mad about brands? Why are you crazy after brands? But these brands are something that define them in the pre-corona world. But in the post-corona world, I think those brands might not matter, but this brand surely will matter, because all of us who want to really develop our knowledge will love this brand. So as you all know, the best brands in these times, in these pressing times, become the world icons, will become the world icon, or have already become world icons. And I feel it's very interesting to study their transformation from their old garbs to new. What I mean is from their old forms to new forms. And this is a brand that all as English teachers we would love. The brand Amazon's electronic book Kindle has a very fascinating and interesting history and evolution. Kindle is a device that reached its 5th generation in 2012, and now it accounts for more ebook sales through Amazon than site shifts in conventional paperbacks. So we find that these the Kindle books are more popular than the conventional paperbacks. And the word, as I wanted to tell you and share with you, is that is derived from the Old Norse language, kinda, and it means both to light or set fire. See, when these words have been coined and have been chosen, they have been chosen with a lot of thought. So what does reading do to us? What does education do to us? What does knowledge accumulation do to us? It brings to light or sets fire to our inspiration. Okay? And most poetically, if it's put, it arouses our curiosity. And I think, even though if we say, we use the proverb curiosity when it comes to cats, and we say curiosity kills a cat, but I think it is the curiosity of people who have invented things and have explored and developed knowledge. And so we find that in poetically, it means to arouse or inspire. And I'm sure that all of us read books on the Kindle app, and books that we get at a lower cost, because it is not conventional paperbacks. And these books surely arouse our curiosity and inspire us. And coincidentally, where electronic books are concerned, Kindle is a collective noun. It's very interesting. It is a collective noun for a group of kittens. And it's thanks to the Middle English word. It's a Middle English word from the Middle Ages. The word kindle, meaning to give birth. So I hope I have aroused your curiosity, because these words in the digital world, in these pressing times, have undoubtedly aroused mine. And here we come to this slide, which again I found was interesting as I was reading, creatures and beasts. And especially during these times when this one word is always in our minds, and we talk about virus, bacteria, organisms, and these words, actually, they people the World Wide Web. So the monsters and beasts and creatures and organisms, we should be really interested to know that these people the World Wide Web. And myths and legends and stories of gnomes and fairies and avatars were among the exquisite pieces of literature from the Middle Ages and even before that. They were there always, but now it has become very prevalent. And words like Trojan, as you know, the Trojan horse in the Battle of Troy. Trojan is a virus that hacks into computers, to machines. And we find that it's very apt. The word Trojan for something that hacks into your computer is called Trojan, because as you know, in the Battle of Troy, the horse was made so that it could enter the forts of Troy, which could never be besieged. So there's so much of thought which has gone into the evolution of these words, and so much of interesting historical facts. That is what I wanted to share with you as an English teacher. So they melded fact and humor, and to create mystically charged taxonomies of nature. And if you look at it, there is worms, there is viruses, there's wormholes, sinkholes. Recently I was watching a movie about time travel. And in that movie, the protagonist, who's a professor, was sucked into a wormhole and he landed in the Middle Ages. And a group of scientists had to go after him to retrieve him back from that wormhole. So we find that these mystically charged taxonomies of nature have been co-joined with the new technological advancements. So that is the beauty of digital language. The old mystically charged taxonomies of nature melded with the new. So as I told you, take for example the word in everyone's mind today. Okay, we are talking about this because this pandemic is raging all around us, and we are keeping safe indoors. But this is on every mind, in every mind, every tongue, and media and news, and which has brought a change in the world in historical proportions, virus. And this term also is one that we use when things start to go wrong with our new machines. So the machine is like a body. The body is like a machine, sorry, and the virus, when it attacks our body, it weakens us. Just like how this term is used when things start to go wrong with bright new machines, especially computers and laptops and phones. So now we go on to the slide in conclusion. Okay, now what I'm trying to say here is everything that we have done here need not just be final, because e-learning or everything digital learning here is not just a process that we can forget, especially during these times. It is a process that has to keep going on, and learning, as you all know, is a continual process. So as I told you earlier, pressing times call for desperate measures. And this might be a cliched expression, but I feel that terms which evolve in these pressing times are more medico-mythological and seems rationally pristine. Okay? I feel they are connected with medicine as well as mythology. And the intrinsic nature of human being is to adapt himself or herself and evolve. So language, which is the main domain of expression of a human being, also evolves and develops in these pressing times. And as you all know, there are plethora of roots and origins and histories and evolutions and etymological transformations that we can discuss in a very elaborate manner, which I would love to, okay, because my curiosity is triggered, and I can share with you that curiosity, and I can go on waxing eloquent, but I think we should conclude somewhere. And one thing that I want to leave you with is that words are never what we think they are. They say more about us than we usually realize. Sometimes in a grave manner or in a humorous sense, they also use us. Words also use us. Like when we tell our students, we can either make a word can make you or it can destroy you. And so, as English teachers, we have that power in our hands. So, words can also, in a humorous sense, they can use us, and we without even us realizing it. Okay. And before we end, memory comes to my mind. See, it's always memory which is very important. We talk about memories, we talk about fond memories, we talk about nostalgic memories, and we talk about memorizing. And I end with this human term, memory. And because I want you to remember this session so that you can explore, and I hope this has triggered your curiosity. And so the human term memory, the English word for memory, it has been with us for more than 800 years, and it has its root from the French word memoria. And we can delve deeper and unearth a plethora of linguistically relevant digital terms, okay, which has been with us, but and also relevant today, and which are digitally enthused words. But here now, I give you time to stop here and think and ponder, and keep in your memory this session. And thank you for patiently listening to me in spite of the world going crazy all around you. Thank you for your astute and erstwhile presence here. And I hope that I have aroused your curiosity and inspired you with this session. And I really have to thank the Phase 2 campus, the Department of English, Dr. MGR University, the President, Rasius Arun Kumar, and the management, and the Phase 2 campus, the Dean, Dr. Manivanan, and the HOD in charge, Julie L. and Professor Harsh.
Okay.
And
So, words stand powerless today
yeah,
to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Mary Thomas for her wonderful and thought-provoking session today. It helped us greatly in the quest for knowledge, and the topic of today was much relevant to the present situation. We are much grateful to you, ma'am. I hope all professors who joined here really enjoyed the session. We Team English Phase 2, Dr. MGR University, really appreciate Dr. Mary Thomas, Professor and Dean, Department of English, Dr. MGR University, for taking time off from her busy schedule to inspire us and teach us something valuable. Thanks once again, ma'am, and thank you, participants, for your cooperation and support. Now it is discussion time. I request the participants to clarify their doubts or ask questions to the resource person one by one. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
Hello.
sir, you can ask.
Yeah. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Mary ma'am.
Hello.
Mary
Mary
ma'am, a
ma'am?
participant is asking question.
Hello. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Mary ma'am, a participant wants to ask you a question, please. One second, sir.
Yes, yes, ma'am. No problem.
Mary ma'am.
Mm. Mm. Hello. I think ma'am has
Hello,
gone.
sir. She's trying to answer your question. Just
Okay,
please
ma'am.
wait. Because of network issue, she is facing this
Okay,
problem.
okay, ma'am. Just to convey my thanks to her,
Okay.
and the session was really good, ma'am. Neatly arranged,
Okay.
and
Thank you, sir.
I want to tell you that it's a very clear-cut presentation, ma'am, without any hazy-wazy as well as any rush. It's beautifully organized, and it's a thought-provoking towards words, etymologies, and it's really a very good, wonderful chance, ma'am. Thank you so much for organizing.
Thank you.
Can
Thank you so
convey
much,
my
sir.
regards to ma'am also, Mary ma'am.
Yeah, sure,
Thank you,
sure,
ma'am.
sir.
Have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Akshay, is Mary ma'am here?
Ma'am, she's here, ma'am. She's unable to hear our voice, it seems. So she's trying to come back again within 2 minutes.
So please ask her to come at least for 5 minutes,
Okay, I
sir.
think she'll be facing some technical problem.
Um, Mary ma'am, uh, Mary ma'am, please unmute your audio, ma'am. Unmute your audio. Some participants are sure to
Yes,
ask you questions.
yes,
Please
yes, please.
answer them, ma'am, for 5 minutes.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm so sorry that I
Sorry
had
for
this.
the disturbance. Sorry for the disturbance, dear participant. If you have any questions or have any doubts, please clarify. Ma'am has come back. Anyone?
I lost connectivity suddenly here. I'm very sorry for the.
No worries, ma'am. No worries. Participants, if anyone has doubts or if you want to ask any questions, please.
Ma'am, it was really a good session. One participant named Raja, he was appreciating you for your presentation, ma'am. That time, I think due to the technical problem, you cannot hear that his
Yes,
appreciation, ma'am. So
I
he,
could not hear. Yes,
yes.
I think because I lost connectivity here. and I just wanted to hear what he wanted to say. Is he there still? Is he available online now?
Raja sir, are you available here?
Raja sir?
So very informative session, he said, and you spoke about emitology, right?
Yes.
So you are just recalling all these points.
Yes. I would love to
Mary
hear him.
ma'am, it was a
Yes.
wonderful
Thank you.
session.
Thank you.
Actually, the
Thank
thing
you
is,
so much.
because
You-
the participants have to attend so many webinars and other things, they
Yeah,
have
they will
very less time. So no problem, ma'am. If will maybe for 5 minutes you can come and answer the questions. Maybe tomorrow, if possible.
Yes. Tomorrow I'll surely be there. I'm sure
Yes,
Raja sir will be there tomorrow.
yes,
So
ma'am.
I would
Yes,
love
ma'am.
to listen to him because I miss listening to him. Suddenly, just the connectivity, I just lost connectivity here.
Don't worry,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
Don't worry. I'll send you the recorded session. That time you can hear it, ma'am. And also
Yes,
tomorrow
what he
you
has
come
said.
and you
Yes,
speak it.
yes. Surely I will be there tomorrow and to,
Uh,
to
I request all participants to attend the last day of webinar tomorrow. That is last day of EFTP. So I'm just we are just evaluating all your feedback and come assignment. We will be issuing the certificate within 2 to 3 days after completing this EFTP. So don't worry about your certificates.
thank you so much, Akshaya. You did such a good job designing. And Harshini ma'am, without you, it couldn't have been possible.
Thank you, ma'am.
And
Thank
Julie
you. Thank you.
ma'am, thank you for that lovely introduction.
welcome, ma'am. You
I
deserve it, ma'am.
really would have loved to listen to Raja sir. I really missed listening to him. I hope tomorrow I will, have the opportunity of listening to what he has to say. And I think in the recorded message, I would, I would be able to listen to what he has shared.
Okay. So I think it is now time for us to leave the session. Thank you very much, participants, for joining the session today. Thank you very much, Mary ma'am.
Thank you, Harshini. Without
Very
you, wouldn't have
wonderful.
been
Mary
possible.
ma'am, thank you once again. Mary
Thank you
ma'am,
so much.
thank you
Yes,
very much. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
you,
It
ma'am.
was
Thank
very
you.
clear presentation. Really,
Thank
we
you.
all enjoyed it. And a
Thank you.
special thanks to you from
Thank you
the
so much.
Department of English.
Yes, and thank
Thank you,
you,
ma'am.
Face to Campus, Department of English. Thank you so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a
Thank you
safe
for your valuable
time.
section, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mary,
Jay
ma'am.
Mata. Thank you. Thank you.
Tomorrow's session will be strategies for effective listening for the need of by Nasima Murthy. By Nasima Murthy.
Thank you so much for the informative session, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Saravanan, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you so much. I really had a lovely time, meeting you all virtually. It was a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, we are clear. So your presentation was so clear, and the way your body language and your tone, everything was very clear, ma'am.
Thank you, Sophia. So wonderful. I really, love to, meet up with all of you virtually. It's such a wonderful opportunity given to me by the Department of English Face to Campus. I really thank them.
We always welcome you, ma'am.
Yes, I'm so happy that, I could really connect with all the English language faculty all over. And it was wonderful. I think this will stay in my memory forever.
Yeah, okay, fine, ma'am.
One participant said, Smriti, hematology is actually one of the less explored space. It is very interesting. So you can also see the chat box, ma'am. So in chat box, everyone is messaging.
Okay, okay,
It is a highly informative session.
Lot of comments, ma'am. Lot of
Comments.
comments.
Yeah,
okay,
Madam,
Positive,
wonderful.
positive
Madam Mary,
comments.
Madam
Because
Mary, it was a wonderful presentation from your side. It shows about your experience that you have shared with us, and the
yes,
topic that you have selected was very interesting. And probably it can reach the younger lot as well as the older ones who
the
doesn't know
ones.
about the modern games and all those things. It was
Yes.
beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Geeta. Wonderful. I'm so
Thank you.
happy that
Thank
it
you.
inspired you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's so much for us to explore. So much. And surely this has triggered my curiosity.
Hello.
Yes, 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 Madam Ragini. I can
हाँ
hear you.
मैम Good afternoon मैम
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
मैम your voice quality is very excellent and I really enjoy your session. It was very fruitful and very informative. Thank you very
Thank
much
you,
ma'am.
Ragini. Thank you. Wonderful to have met you virtually. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else who are here would like to ask questions? Please proceed.
It is a journey of exploration for English teachers all over the world. And the English language is going to be at the fore of this exploration. So, as English language teachers, we should be proud. We should really be proud of our prowess and proficiency. I really thank the Phase 2 Campus English Department for giving me this opportunity. I thank Dr. Harshini. I thank a
Thank you,
young
ma'am.
Akshaya
Thank you, ma'am.
who helped me to design the whole presentation. I thank Julie. I thank all of you for coming up with
Jai Mata.
this wonderful session, this FTP program, because it's so meaningful for today's world, for today's society. It's so meaningful during these times of crisis. So I really congratulate all of you for coming up with this FDP program. The management has done a wonderful job for giving us this opportunity. And I think we will start exploring and we will start delving deeper into these trajectories of knowledge that are available to us as English teachers. I really would have loved to listen to all of you. That is something that virtually we cannot do. We have to depend on technology. And there are some impediments to that. So, but still, technology has advanced to such an extent that we can sit in the comfort of our homes and talk to those who are like-minded. I think we all have a kindred spirit, and that kindred spirit will help us to focus to what has to come in the future. These are times when we can sit back and think of what we can do. We can retrospect, we can introspect, and we can rise up like a phoenix from the ashes of ignominy. And we can stop procrastinating and start acting and being proactive. There were so many things I wanted to share with you, but I think this is only the beginning and not the conclusion. I think nature around us is reinventing itself and revamping itself. I can hear birds chirping from wherever Dr. Hemalata is trying to connect. It's a beautiful, in spite of all this crisis and these pressing times, we can see nature reinventing itself and breaking its shackles and
Hello, ma'am.
becoming free.
Hello,
Yes, yes,
ma'am.
yes,
Session.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Session
can
was,
hear you. Yes,
and usually literature they'll topic based on theme.
yes, yes, Dr. Hemalata, I can hear you. Yes,
Ma'am. Thank you for your lively presentation, ma'am. We really enjoyed well, and we are
thank you.
expecting more sessions tomorrow.
Yes, yes, I will surely be there tomorrow. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
I had a
Thank you,
wonderful
ma'am.
time also. Thank you,
Yes,
Hemalata.
ma'am. Thank
Thank you
yes,
so much. So I can hear birds chirping from wherever you're talking. That's such a wonderful sound, natural sounds. Sounds also have been replicated in the digital world. So that's one arena where we can explore too. Sounds of birds, lovely sounds. Then we get messages on WhatsApp and SMS. You can, suddenly hear, a bird chirping or a lovely sound. All these nature, from nature we have learnt to replicate into technology. That's really wonderful. And if we really think about what we are doing, we can do so much. We can really do so much. We can study, we can learn. There's no age bar to learning. That's something that I wanted to share with you. In the beginning itself, there's no age bar to learning. At any age, we can learn new things. They usually say the proverb, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But I don't think that's true in this time and age. Old dogs can learn new tricks. And I think there's no age bar to what we can learn, what we can study, what we can explore, and what can arouse our interests and inspire us. And we realize that, these common typographical terms, carry 500,000 of history with it. And from Middle English, from French, from German, from all these languages. So language itself is an integral part, becomes an integral part of technology. Without that, it cannot exist, and especially the English language. So as English teachers, we are on the fore of development. We are not IT professionals, but we are the mainstay. And we are players in the field of development.
I think all participants are leaving and the strength is also very low. So it's time to leave the session, I think so, because all the participants are not
Yes,
uh,
I think they
asking
have
doubts. Yes, ma'am. As ma'am said earlier, they have so many webinars.
so many, yeah.
Yes,
And I think they're keeping, time slots, for this
Yes, ma'am.
this session, and then they have
But
something else to it.
I will send you the chat list later, ma'am. You can see
Yes,
the comments there. So your session
yes,
is beautiful. Mainly they talked about the emetology.
yes. Etymological treasures. Yeah,
Etymology. Sorry.
etymology. Yes, very interesting, because that's an area which has to be explored. Etymology. It has been explored, but as English teachers, that's an arena that we can explore, and which triggered my curiosity when I was thinking about these times. This time when we stay back and we keep safe indoors and at home. I had a lot of time to think, and when I in my thought process, all these things came to my mind, because the world has changed. We can say for the better, surely, in optimistic terms. And these etymological treasures need to be unearthed in digital linguistics. And that is what triggered my curiosity. Literature and English language conjoins here with etymological transformation, because we cannot demarcate literature and we cannot demarcate language. They are two things that are intricately connected with each other. So I really feel, you know, angered when I find people talking about language, English language and literature separately, because they can never be separated, even though there are methodologies and which are different. But I feel one complements the other.
Thank you, ma'am. So now it's time to leave the session.
Yes.
Sorry for that.
No,
Thank you very
I had a
much.
wonderful time. Thank you.
I don't think no more commands and no more clarification and doubts. So they are clear with your presentation. I think so.
Yes.
So tomorrow you come again, and we will have at last. If anyone have doubts, we can have.
Yes. Surely. I'll be there
Uh,
tomorrow.
Yes,
It's the
ma'am.
same time, right? Harshini?
We'll pass you the link for tomorrow. You can join, ma'am.
Yes. I'll join
Thank you.
tomorrow. I hope I
Yes.
can join tomorrow,
Okay, ma'am.
because
Okay, ma'am.
through the
Okay.
link. I'll surely be there.